Hi, I'm Hayden, and this is Andrew, and we are students at Indiana State University, and we are in the occupational therapy program. Today, our video will highlight dressing. Our video is for teenagers or young adults with autism. Many people with autism are engaged in many diverse occupations, just like their fully abled peers. Various occupations require different clothing, different attire. Anything from occupations of a student, leisure and recreation, or a formal event attendee set for weddings or church. Additionally, varying weather conditions present challenges for teenagers with autism with respect to dressing. This creates a problem for this population because these individuals have trouble determining which clothing is appropriate.
So, for this presentation, we have a couple objectives for our audience. The first objective is that the client will successfully match clothes, including proper layering. So, people with autism will have problems with planning, so things like layering clothes, like putting their underwear on and their pants on, or putting on a shirt and then putting on a jacket over that could be troublesome for them. So the second objective is that the client will be able to determine appropriate attire for specific activities, including school, recreation, and formal activities. So they typically have trouble judging which clothes are appropriate for which occasions. So we want to make sure that they are aware that they can wear casual clothing to school. They need to wear shorts, short sleeves for recreation for things such as gym class, and things like a suit and tie for events such as weddings or funerals and things like that. That's our second objective. And our third objective is that the client will be able to decipher between weather appropriate and weather inappropriate clothes. So this objective involves dressing, wearing coats in the cold or raincoats, using umbrellas if it's raining out, or just simply wearing casual clothes to school if it's a sunny day out. So that's our third objective. And then our fourth objective is that the client will independently dress using the training video. So independence is a big reason why occupational therapists treat their patients. So that's something we definitely want to achieve with any client who would be using this video. They want to be able to live by themselves. If they're going to do that, they're going to have to be able to dress themselves. So that's objective number 4. And then objective number 5 is that the client will improve fine motor skills throughout the program. So occupational therapists work with people on their fine motor skills. So the objective is with this program, they will complete tasks that work on their fine motor skills, such as buttoning and unbuttoning, zipping things up, stuff like that. So that's a way for them to improve their fine motor skills. So those are our objectives. And now Hayden will go over the instructional considerations for someone who would be administering this video or might be working with a client at home using our curriculum.
Okay, so first we're going to be doing a lot of visual cueing. We chose to use a routine pictured in a chart for specific dressing occasions. So if you recall, we broke down our occasions to 3 categories: school, recreation, and formal. Now, with formal, that can include anything like mentioned, church or a wedding attendee, or just going out in public and dining. So we also want to use verbal cues to aid in dressing, utilizing forward and backward chaining. We'll get into that a little bit later. We also want to use we want to slow down our cues during the video to help maintain attention and comprehension. So sometimes the receptive language for someone with autism is not as to the level as their fully abled peers. So we really want to break down that language. We want to minimize our verbiage, and we want to speak precisely. Also, that kind of coincides with that. We want to use keywords. We want to break down, simplify possible confusing phrases. We don't want to say, go around back and find your coat. We want to say, go to your closet, find your rain jacket. And that's pretty well it. We have a few pre-instructional assignments. We want the room to be real tidy. We don't want any laundry on the ground. We don't want clutter. We want everything to be nice and clean, very ideal for anyone. But we want to create space that facilitates our client to wear clothes, to dress, to practice dressing, to pick out what they want to wear. We'll go in later on about how we want you to design your drawers, to design, to organize your drawers, to make sure you have this type of clothing in this drawer, etc.
So for this video, we have a case study. This gives you an idea of a typical person who might benefit from this. This isn't necessarily the only person that could benefit from this video, but this is the profile of someone that might benefit from this. So Wilbert Wilson is a 16-year-old diagnosed with autism. He's nonverbal. He can read and write, though. He's a student at John Jones Senior High School. He's a sophomore. He has attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. He has poor fine motor skills and poor decision making with respect to dressing. He enjoys to be active. He likes to go to the nearby park and play basketball with his friends. He and his family also routinely go to church every Sunday. So he's currently receiving assistance from his mother for dressing, but he wants to be independent in dressing, so this video can help him do so. So in this video, you can use visual cues to aid in dressing for various occasions, and pictures will help assist him in dressing for each of these occasions. So one of the things we want to stress in this video is using repetitive task-specific treatments that help him learn through motor learning. What they learn through motor learning or doing, it's better ingrained in their head, and they can remember how to complete tasks if they've done them repetitively. Another tactic that can be used for this is modifying the environment or room to make it easier to dress. Providing him with a well-defined routine and specific locations for clothes also helps him dress on a day-to-day basis. If they have something that's more predictable, they know these clothes are here. They put their clothes away at the end of the day when they're clean, and that'll help them to dress more easily. Clearing the space and also using a mirror. Using a mirror can help them because neuromuscular that kind of helps them ingrain the ideas in their brain if they see themselves doing it, more so than just completing the action. So other than that, those are our considerations. So after this, we'll go on to our next module.
Alrighty. To begin Module 1, I will first show you the layout of the room. As you see, there's open space, nothing really on the floor, but we have about 5 feet by 4 feet, 5 feet by 5 feet, anything that gives enough room to spread out our upper and lower extremities, and have room for dressing. And if you notice as well, we have a drawer, and that is all we really need for our activity of dressing and how we want to do this project. So what we have is, our idea is to make a few different charts to really organize and develop a plan for our child or our adult teenager, how to dress, what to pick, and guide us so we're ready to go out the door. So first, we used a program called Boardmaker. It is free. You can also do this on Microsoft Word. You can do it on Microsoft PowerPoint. However you want to do it, but we will show you a few of our examples. So first, we made a chart that says, what is the weather today? And if you notice, we have 4 different options. We have sunny, cool, cold, and rain. We'll get into that later and how we will use these charts, but we just kind of want to show you and give you an idea of what to do. So that was chart number 1. Chart number 2. Before I get dressed, I need underwear and socks. Next, for dressing for warm weather, we have 3 different options. We have for school, we have t-shirt, gym shorts. For rec, we have tank top, gym shorts. For dressing, we chose a polo, but any kind of dress shirt that you have for your child or for your teenager will suffice. But we also kind of want to differentiate the clothing. So we want our child to be able to, understand the difference between a t-shirt to wear to school versus a t-shirt to wear for a nice event. Also, we have, as you see, we have khaki shorts. Next, we have dressing for cool weather. And again, we have school, rec, and dressing. As you see here, we have shirt, pants, and jacket, shirt, and sweatpants. We have a button-up shirt, any kind of collared shirt will kind of work just to, kind of be able to tell the difference between a shirt for dress up versus a shirt for school. We have dress pants, and we have an option right here. We're not saying that you need to buy your child or your teenager a suit, but sometimes if it's necessary, or if they like clothing, or if they want to pay for a suit, we got it right here. Next, we have dressing for cold weather. We have shirt, coat, pants, shirt, sweatshirt, sweatpants, shirt, dress pants, and jacket again. Lastly, we have dressing for rainy weather. Now this time, we only have 2 options, and we have a rain jacket and an umbrella. So this kind of gives you an idea of what we are advising you to make. These are how we want you to guide your child. So this method is strategically placed, so we will talk about that later. So when you are making those pictures and those graphs, make sure you don't deviate too far away from that.
Okay, so in this module, in our second module, we're going to show you how to organize your drawers. So either this could be done with the child, or the child could do this independently, depending on his or her skill level. So we're going to start our module for the children after this. So in this module, we're going to show you how to set up your drawers according to our method. So before you get dressed, you always want to make sure that you put on your socks right here and your underwear. So here is an example of your socks, and here is an example of your underwear. So In the top drawer of your dresser, you'll put a label that says socks and underwear. And socks and underwear will go in the top drawer. And then in your second drawer, you will put your warm weather clothes. So here's your warm weather clothes. Warm weather clothes are things like shorts or t-shirts. Something else that you might wear as warm weather clothes would be something like a tank top. If you were going out for recreation, you might wear a tank top for warm weather clothes. So, first drawer, socks and underwear. Second drawer, warm weather clothes. Third drawer is cool weather clothes. So you'll want to put a label right here in the middle that says cool weather clothes. So in your third drawer, cool weather clothes could be something like pants. So you put your pants in your cool weather clothes drawer. And another example of cool weather clothes could be something like a shirt. So your shirt would go in your cool weather clothes drawer. And then your last drawer will be your cold weather clothes. So you want to put a label in the middle of this drawer that says cold weather clothes. And cold weather clothes are things like pants or stuff like a jacket, which you can also keep in your closet. So another part of our methodology, something you want to do is organize your drawer, each drawer by event. So on the left side of your drawer, you will put your clothes for school. So things like t-shirts and pants. In the middle of your drawer, you'll put your clothes for recreation, like t-shirts and shorts. And then on the right side of every drawer, you'll put your clothes for dress up, like pants or collared shirts. So each drawer has clothes for a specific weather condition or temperature, and also clothes for a different occasion. So every drawer will go school, recreation, formal, according to weather conditions or things like that. And then also make sure that you have your socks and your underwear in your top drawer. So that's basically how we're going to organize our drawers to help someone with their dressing.
All right, for our module 3, first I'm going to summarize a little bit of module 2. For module 2, we discussed the typical layout of what we want in your drawers. Now, that can be a prepped activity that a parent or caregiver can do beforehand every week, and that can be their routine, or based on the functional level of your child. You may want to incorporate that into one of their chores every week and really set a routine so eventually they can do the whole process of this video independently. So where do we go from there? We want to dress based on weather. Now, depending on where you live, right now, as we mentioned, we're students at Indiana State University, and the weather here fluctuates a lot. So one day it might be sunny, one day it might be chilly. It really kind of depends, and some parts of the year that changes day to day. So normally your child will be set in a routine. For example, summer, you're going to be using a lot of warm weather drawer. For winter, you're going to be using a lot of cold weather drawer. However, in those spring and fall months, it could be cold, it could be cool, or it could be warm. So we really need to find a way to be able to dress accordingly. So, if, as you recall from our first module, we talked about making diagrams. Our first diagram was, what is the weather today? And if you recall, we got sunny, cool, cold, and rainy. Now, what we suggest is placing it by a window. It could be a window to next to your bed or in the child's room, or it could be placed at the front door, whatever works best and is most feasible for your child to kind of get a look outside and see what the weather's like today. So right now it's kind of hard to tell, but it is in the middle of November and it's a little chilly, so it's a little cool outside today. So we would go from there and we would choose cool. We kind of want to reiterate the phrase, what does it look like outside? Or do you see the sun? Or is there snow on the ground? And that will also kind of depict what we will choose. So we have the method of looking outside. Another method we suggest is possibly getting your child to look at a weather app, and oftentimes on those weather apps you have another visual representation of a sun or snow for snowy, rain for rainy. So that's another good way if you can teach them to navigate that weather app and be able to use that could be more efficient than looking outside. Now, a good way to do that would be to have that weather app on a home screen or on your desktop page. That way your child can quickly use the mouse, scroll over, click, and boom, you have the weather right there. Or a third option is go outside, and we're about to go outside and we'll discuss how you would do that. Alright, so for our third option, we are going outside. And you will simply ask your child three things. Is it hot, chilly, or cold? So right now, in our case, for Wilson, you would ask Wilson, are you hot? Are you chilly? Are you warm? And right now I am cold. I'm a little chilly. So you would have to mention, what do you think you would need? I need a jacket. So I put on the jacket and I feel all right now. So a good way for them to really understand this is, bring a few items outside with you and let them dictate how they feel. If they feel comfortable, obviously they're going to be warmer when there's snow on the ground and you have a jacket with them. So if you bring that jacket with you outside, it'll be a quick response. It'll be something quick that they can relate to, that, okay, this is why I'm choosing cold weather.
Okay, so after you've set up your drawer and you've determined what type of weather it is outside, the next thing we want to do is figure out specific tasks that they might be doing that day. So, for example, they might be going on a field trip that day. If they were going on a field trip on a day like today, they would want to make sure they bring their coat, they bring long pants, they bring clothes for weather in case it decides to rain, depending on where you live. And then other types of activities that they might be doing that day they might need to prepare for. So things like gym class or like art class, you might need to bring smocks or things like that. So I'm going to go get an example. So something you could do is you put your shoes down in front of each drawer. So for a day like when they have gym class, you might wear shoes like these. These are like casual shoes. They might wear those shoes to school, but they also might need to either bring or have at school shoes like gym shoes, things that they would be comfortable running in, something that's going to be easy on their feet. So what you can do is you can organize the shoes in front or behind of their dresser, whichever makes sense to you. So have your casual shoes on one side, your recreation shoes in the middle, and your gym shoes on the right side. So other examples of things that they might be doing, they might need to wear dress shoes for a performance at school if they have, if they're like in the choir and they're singing, or if they need to dress up for any reason. You want to make sure they have dress shoes. So something you can do is you can ask them, "What are you doing today?" And something, you know how we made the charts earlier, so you can make a chart because they have a specific class schedule. So on the class schedule, you have a line for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Then under that, you would have their class schedule. Then under, you could highlight any class that they might need specific or special clothes for. So say they have gym class on Monday, they have art class on Tuesday, and they have a choir performance on Thursday. You could highlight under each week's schedule the items they would need. So comfortable shoes, athletic shoes, clothes you don't care about getting dirty for art class on Tuesday, and then dress clothes or dress shoes for choir on Thursday. So these are just a couple ideas to keep in mind when you're dressing, but you just want to always make sure they're aware, one, of where they're going, two, of the weather outside, and then three, the activities they're doing. So those kind of cover our first three modules. So yeah, that pretty much covers it for Module 4.
Okay, this will be a teaching intermission between Module 4 and Module 5. So Module 3 and Module 4 were weather and what are you doing today. So we talked about finding what kind of weather it is outside and then going to that weather drawer. And then for Module 4 we talked about activity-specific clothing. So with that weather, what kind of clothing are they wearing for that weather scenario? So for a teaching method, we want you to work with your child and use a little bit of what we OTs call forward and backward chaining. So first, we'll demonstrate forward chaining. I'm going to have Andrew be our client, Wilson, and guide you through this. So first, if you recall, we want to pick what kind of weather it is outside. So Wilson, what I want you to do is find out what kind of weather it is outside.
Well, looks like it's still sunny today. I was outside a little earlier though, so I think it was warm earlier, but I think it's getting cool now.
Okay, Wilson. Next, Wilson, where is warm weather?
Warm weather is right here.
Okay. Wilson, what do we do first? Which drawer do we do first?
First we do socks and underwear.
Socks and underwear. Nice job. Alright, so pick your socks and underwear.
Do these and do these.
Alright. Okay, so where's warm weather?
Warm weather is right here.
Okay, pull the drawer out. Alrighty. Now there's your sheet, Wilson. What are you doing today?
Today I'm going to school.
Okay. Now, which column is school?
There's school.
Okay. Now, which column in the drawer is school?
School is t-shirt and gym shorts. There's t-shirt and gym shorts. School's on the left.
All right.
There's a t-shirt. And there's my gym shorts.
All right. And from there, you would have your child put on their clothing. And our last module is a few methods of how we want you to teach your child to put on clothes if they're having any problems. So forward chaining is essentially step-by-step of the activity broken down to components. You want to go from chronological order and so again, that is forward chaining. And now we are doing backward chaining. So our very last step, we had Wilson grabbed his correct clothing, and now we're going to work backwards. So Wilson, you have your shorts and t-shirt. Place it back in the drawer. Wilson, use your guide to see what you are going to do today. How are you going to pick your clothing?
Well, today I'm going to dress up for my concert. So there's my dress-up clothes.
Okay, in this case, he's going to a concert, and he has dressing clothes. So he had dressing clothes, and now he pointed out, he used the guide, he pointed out which column it is. All right, now, Wilson, which drawer are you at?
I'm on my warm weather clothes.
Okay. Wilson, go back to your pictures and point out what the weather is.
Today it is sunny.
Okay. Wilson, look outside and tell me what the weather is.
Today it is sunny and it's warm outside.
Alrighty, that is backward chaining.
So this is our fifth module. This module is over matching. So today we're just going to do a couple examples of things you can do to help your child match their clothes more easily. So what you want to do, so say today is a warm weather clothes. You would present them with two items. So present them with, here's a pair of shorts. All right. This is the subject Wilson. So he's our example subject. So say you're going to wear these shorts today. Pick which one of these shirts goes with those shorts.
All right.
And then give them two options. So use your chart, and then which one of the shorts?
Gym shorts and t-shirt.
and then he would select which t-shirt he thinks goes with that. And then say you are doing another dressing. Say you're dressing for a formal occasion. You could present him with dress shorts, and then say, Wilson, you're wearing these shorts today. What shorts match those? What shirt matches those shorts? Does this shirt match those shorts, or does this shirt match those shorts? And then he could use his visual guide to match the dress shorts to the dress shirt. And then another matching. So say it's raining outside. Are you going to wear your rain jacket or your plaid jacket?
Well, I think rain jacket.
So basically you can use these visual guides to help your child get dressed and present them with a couple opportunities to work on matching clothes to one another. So that was our fifth module.
All right, before we begin Module 6, we will talk about rainy days. So if you recall, we have the picture of rainy, and if it is rainy, they would come back here, and don't forget raincoat, or if your child prefers a umbrella, then that would be okay too. Next, we are going to do dressing skills. So first we are going to dress a shoe. We're going to lace shoes and practice.
So for this demonstration, I will be Wilson, our example subject.
Okay. We want to stress that if your child can use a scissors, then generally they will be able to lace shoes. We want to begin by placing a shoe on a table and have them set at a table, and it'll be less daunting on them if you try to put a shoe on their foot already and they have to flex forward and do it that way. So as Wilson is over here, and you can actually place it right here if you want, maybe. And there we go. And Wilson is at a table, and he's going to tie his shoes this way. So you could one color each lace. So if these laces were white, it's kind of a bad example, but if these laces are white, then you could color one side. So you'd have, for instance, blue right here. And then if you flip it over, it'd be its normal color, white right here. And that'll be kind of helpful to identify the laces a little bit easier. But what you will do is you can use forward chaining and backward chaining, the strategies that we showed earlier. But for this example, we're just going to show forward chaining. And we are going to do the traditional method of rabbit ears. And go from there. So Wilson, can you make a cross? And then under, and then pull. And then make a bunny ear. And then wrap around the bunny ear. And then pull through. So that's one way to do it. You can do the bunny ears, or I like this way. as well. It gives you maybe a little bit more of a visual story. So Wilson, cross, make a cross. All right, loop one or tuck one under, pull, and then make a tree. All right, you have a tree. And then the other one is your rabbit. The rabbit goes around the tree. Or keep going around the tree. And then in the bunny hole. There you go. And out the bunny hole he goes. Alright, so that would be a good way to forward chain, and then you could do backward chaining with that. Maybe thicker or wider shoestrings might be a good idea to begin with, and then gradually make your way down to more narrow shoestrings. If that is a little bit too difficult, if that's way out of his or her capabilities, you could revert to Velcro shoes. You could revert to, there's new Nike shoes out there that are kind of slip-ons, and then you only do one latch. Those might be a little pricey, but it is an option. You also could do sandals if it's sunny. And then again, we could also arrange those shoes in front of the drawers just like our clothes are in order. So if you recall, our clothes are in 3 columns: school, rec, and dress. And you could place them right there as well. Alright, next we are going to do buttoning. So this is good for strength and coordination of those intrinsic muscles in your hands. We always want to start with a larger button, and then again, kind of like the shoestring, progress to a small or to a smaller button.
So for example, you could start with a jacket like this that has a little bit larger of buttons, and then you could progress to something such as this, which has smaller buttons like that.
Alright, so again, kind of like the shoes, we want to lay the jacket actually on the table. So Wilson, put that jacket on the table. Alright, and then we're going to practice buttoning on the table. So that way they don't have to look on it. They don't have to visualize the button going in and out from a downward view while the clothing is on them. It can be more in front of them, and it'll be a good startup before they actually start buttoning on top of themselves. So another idea would be to go to a store and buy felt. And if you have any popsicle sticks laying around, you can take that felt, make a slit with a scissors, and take the popsicle stick and put it through one hole and then grab it through the other. So that's kind of another good way for them to practice targeting that hole, threading that hole, and really getting the concept of the object from the other side.
So for demonstration purposes, we could use this piece of paper, pretend this is a piece of felt. You'd simply cut in like this, and then opening. On this side there will be an opening, and they could use this as a practice button.
Alrighty. So next we have putting a jacket or a coat on. So these are really crucial for those cool weather or cold weather moments. So what you will do is you will place the coat on the floor, and what you want to do, this interesting way, you want to have the coat with the open end on top, if you can see right here, and then you want the collar to be by your feet. So in this case, you see the hood right near the feet. And we're going to do a little trick here. So Wilson, if you can grab the collar while putting your hands through the 2 holes, and then flip it over your head. And boom. We're golden. So we're going to try that one more time, just to show you how we do that. Wilson, grab the 2 holes and flip it over. All right, good job, Wilson. There's another way. What you can do is, especially maybe some of your children or teenagers that are into superheroes, you can demonstrate, you can have them act like they are a superhero. So what does Superman have?
Superman has a cape.
Cape. All right, so drape a cape over your child. So they're wearing their cape, and then one arm at a time. All right. And then we have one more method, and that is to first stick one arm through a hole. So we could do their dominant side.
Right.
All right. So right side, right arm through hole. Drape or cape. Where's your cape? Get your cape on. All right, and then other arm. So arm, cape, arm.
So for our last dressing module, you'd be dressing using socks. So one of the ideas with dressing socks is what you want to do is start with a sock like this, where it is just one tube, one flat piece, as opposed to this sock, which has the ankle portion, and then your leg, and then your foot. Because one tube will be easier, so they're more confident and competent in putting on socks. And then after that, you progress to this sock. If you want to wear warm weather socks, you can always just cut off the top portion of the sock from like up here. So it's just one flat tube sock, and that will make dressing using dress socks or warm weather socks a little more easy. So that's our methods of dressing socks, and you kind of like adapt the methods we used for putting on coats. You can adapt those for putting on shirts or collared shirts, things like that. And then basically that's the end of our 6th module. So hope you enjoyed watching our video. So briefly, we're just going to go over some of the objectives that we had for this video. Okay, so the objectives for these learning modules were that the client will successfully match clothes, including proper layering. The client will be able to determine appropriate attire for specific activities, including school, recreation, and formal activities. 3, the client will be able to decipher between weather appropriate and weather inappropriate clothes, i.e. wearing a raincoat when it's raining or a winter coat when it's cold outside. Objective number 4, the client will be able to independently dress with the use of the training video. And 5, the client will improve fine motor skills throughout the program through things such as buttoning. So those were our considerations, and we hope you enjoyed this module, and we hope it was informative.